Yo, what's up, everybody? This is the Redbeard Podcast, and you're listening to Cooley, Tony, Ren, and Jim. What's up, guys?
Yo, what's going on?
Hello.
I'm doing fine.
Sweet. Yo, so, this week, we're going to talk about the best and worst of the summer of 2017. So hang in there and buckle up.
Redbeard Podcast is brought to you by these cool dudes.
Yo, so Tony, man, what's up? What's your worst movie moment of summer 2017?
My worst movie moment of 2017 is going to be from Wonder Woman. So at the end of Wonder Woman, I think the worst part for me was where she says, she goes, I believe in love. And then, like, all of a sudden, like, her powers, like, come to life. I thought that was really cheesy. I feel like being Wonder Woman, this character who possesses all this power and she's a very powerful superhero, she should be able to actually have access to her powers without love being, like, the catalyst for that. I felt like she should have been able to access those powers without saying, like, I believe in love. And then all of a sudden, like, you know, I thought that was kind of dumb. I felt like for somebody that just fell in love with, what's his name? The
Christopher Pine.
Thank
Chris
you.
Pine.
Yeah, Chris Pine, like 5 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that was a little ridiculous. Like, okay, like, yeah, he's like, they fell in love because they had sex and was, 5 minutes, like, previously. And then all of a sudden he dies in the air.
Thought they fell in love before they had sex.
Well, whatever. It was just kind of like, great. Like, you know, okay, I believe in love. Now I have access to my powers. Like, I feel like you could have actually had access to your powers even if you didn't love this guy because you're Wonder Woman. And you clearly showed the audience that you had powers when you were running through an onslaught of a war, basically taking out everybody, not getting hit. You have these amazing powers, just use them. But she wasn't able to do that without admitting that she believed in love first. That was kind of... I thought the movie was great, and I thought there were a lot of positive things to that movie, and I really liked the movie. I just thought that was a really cheesy moment. That kind of was a downer in the movie for me, but that is definitely probably the worst moment in a movie I've seen this summer.
All right. Good shit.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sure. Did the darkness play during that scene? I believe in the call of...
No,
I don't know the
it was
lyrics.
actually Cher.
A lot of people don't.
Do you believe in love?
I get really fucked up when you're sharing impression of that song. Like,
Can you get really, what'd you say?
fucked up. Like when I'm drunk.
Like start crying?
No, like just
Yeah.
just like very drunk, and people are like, "Oh, what song are you gonna do?" And I'm like, "I fucking got this."
So we need to get you drunk and take you to do karaoke
Oh my God.
so I can hear you do a bad share.
It's on my Instagram, and I'm like,
Do you believe in love after love?
and I like do that, but like in my head it sounds good. I was like,
I can't wait.
It's actually not bad.
I'm like-
But do you do like,
and I
yeah, like
yeah,
when
and
you
I
do like the techno, like
yeah, like the Aaron Neville like bullshit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why did I all of a sudden become Aaron Neville?
Oh my god.
All right, so Tony, you did a good job there, man.
Thanks, man.
I appreciated that.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to move right along and see what Ren has to say.
Oh gosh.
Oh, gosh.
Oh gosh, golly.
Wow.
So what was your worst movie moment?
Oh my god. How about all of the Emoji Movie? Like, how about them, like
You saw that?
yeah, I fucking did.
Oh,
Not
why?
sober.
Jesus,
On a
why?
dare or like?
No, because sometimes you gotta watch a train wreck. I saw Suicide Squad for $15 with 3D because I was like, sometimes you gotta see a train wreck in the best possible quality. But yeah, I saw the Emoji Movie and it was fucking terrible. It was so bad. And they didn't even have the Happy Meal toys for it when I went last night. And I was like, good. Because it was terrible. I don't want your trash toys. But for a serious moment, that was my worst. I saw Baby Driver, which I loved.
Yeah,
I love
you,
Baby Driver.
You talk that up.
Yeah. I love Baby Driver. I love Edgar Wright. But they explain that this kid's like weird mannerisms and everything is because he's like half deaf. Like he's going deaf because of a car accident. And the entire time I'm sitting next to my best friend who has a brother who's severely autistic. And she's like, oh my God, the big reveal is going to be that he's autistic. Like, whoa, like he's almost savant-esque with stealing cars. And they're like, no, he's just deaf. And I'm like, but he listens to music the whole time. And they're like, no, well, he's got tinnitus is what's going on. And I'm like, that real. So he's good at driving cars because he's got tinnitus?
So he needs
it?
like a sound machine when he sleeps, but he gets really good at driving cars.
Yeah, like I was just like,
what?
yo, if he had autism, like that gives it a little more edge. Like, yo, look at this kid. He has to listen to music all day long, but like he's really good at stealing and driving cars. So I was like, oh, that makes sense. Oh, he's just got ringing in his ears. That's okay. So that bothered me because my friend who's got a severely autistic brother was like, yo, this movie would have been so much better if that was the whole thing.
It would be a whole lot better if you found out the main character was autistic.
Maybe.
Sweet.
I think that makes complete sense.
Yeah, no, I have nothing bad to say about that. That sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. If I had seen that, I probably would have wished that I hadn't.
Oh my God. No, it's just like ringing in his ears. That's all we've got. He's just going deaf. He's got tinnitus.
Wow. I feel like that's the first time anyone has ever said, you know what would make this better? If that normal guy had autism.
That's not what I'm saying. Also, his name was Baby. That was his name.
But it's Edgar Wright.
Sick.
Yeah.
It's Edgar Wright.
What's going on,
though.
baby?
It's a movie made off of a concept he did for a music video.
Nice.
Nice. All right, Jim. What was your
Jim.
your best movie moment of summer 2017?
Are we doing best or worst?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Worst.
Worst.
We're
Yes,
doing
correct.
worst.
Correct.
We're doing
Your
worst
worst
first.
Yes.
Okay. Worst movie moment. I would like to say The Dark Tower is easily the worst movie moment because it was such a horrible adaptation of the books. It was too short. They cut out main characters. Some of the acting was poorly done. It was written poorly. But if I have to stick to one specific thing, I would have to say the character that Matthew McConaughey plays is awful. It stands out as the worst part of The Dark Tower because
The Man
here
in
you
Black
have,
is
the Men in Black is the ultimate bad guy.
Right.
He's almost like an amalgamation of the devil.
right.
And you get Matthew McConaughey, who as an actor is not bad. He's an Academy Award winner. He's just recently done a whole bunch of good movies. He did the It's Gonna Kill Me, but the movie about AIDS.
The Dallas Buyers Club.
Thank you very much.
Which was
Great
amazing.
movie. Dallas Buyers Club, Interstellar. He did Free State of Jones, which was an okay movie, but I thought he did a good
I
job
liked
in it.
it.
And then he jumps on to do this, and he is just Matthew McConaughey in a black trench coat. And every once in a while, he goes, "Oh yeah, just quit breathing." And then
I love that. That is like the worst impression, but I
don't.
love
You know
it.
me. I don't do impressions, and I don't. And
Does
I'm
Matthew
not-
McConaughey normally go bam?
He doesn't deserve to have an impression done well of him from The Dark Tower.
Right.
It is just him. He is not scary. He's just fucking Matthew McConaughey being like, "Man, I'm cool. I'm gonna steal children." Bam. And that's it. And he's like, "Where's my car?" I don't, because that's he does commercials for cars.
Oh my God.
If you haven't seen The Dark Tower, don't watch it. And if you have to, watch it with your eyes closed.
Redbox it later on.
Watch it with autism.
Oh, jeez.
Wow. All right.
That was a very Morty thing for you to do. Oh, jeez.
I got nothing.
I mean, I think that was well played. I haven't seen the movie, but from what I've heard about it, it deserves that.
I'm not gonna see it.
I haven't seen it, so I don't have any kind of rebuttal on that. So everything I've heard has made me not want to see this movie.
What makes it worse is that apparently Stephen King enjoys the movie, which to me makes it seem like he's just trying to drum up business for this horrible movie, because there's no way he could have written 9 books on this subject and then seen this movie and been like, home run.
Oh, jeez.
All right, Cooley. Well, I think it's your turn, man. So what was your worst movie moment of 2017?
You want to know what my worst movie moment is?
Yeah, dog.
See, I'm a child of the 80s, right? Grew up loving Hasbro and all of their properties.
Oh my God, here we go. I know what this is.
And every summer for the last 5 summers, I have been let down by Hollywood and Hasbro. Paramount is a Paramount piece of trash for destroying my childhood. And the movie that I am referencing right now is Transformers. Dark of the
Last Night?
Night, whatever. What is it? The Last Night?
Is it the last? I think it's the last night.
The Last Moon. I don't know what it is.
Transformers, Mark Wahlberg.
It's, I mean, man, like, I don't know how you can drop the ball so many times in 2.5 hours. Like, there wasn't one moment that I said, oh, this is a redeeming quality of this movie. Not one. There wasn't one redeeming quality for that film.
The robot with the chain really bothered you.
Yeah.
A robot in prison.
With the rope chain. He's got a gold rope chain like Run
prison
DMC.
Transformer.
And he's from prison. And I swear
But
there
he's
was
a
a
ghetto,
moment.
too.
I swear there was a moment in there where he was lifting weights. What the F does a robot need to lift weights for? I don't understand.
Yeah, you're
Didn't
just
get it.
wasting
But see,
oil.
I think my favorite thing though about what you've said in the past was how Megatron was like begging to get his like dude, he could have just taken everybody
Yeah,
out.
like legit. There's a panel of humans sitting there, and Megatron flies in, transforms into this giant robot killing machine, and is legit negotiating with these humans to let his comrades out of prison, like out of federal prison. And like the people are like, nah, bro. And I'm like, what? And Megatron's like, come on.
Wow.
So
You weren't excited that John Goodman reprised his role as a transformer with an eating disorder?
A transformer that smokes
Like a
robotic cigars.
Like a fat transformer.
And he smokes robotic cigars, man. Like there was a robot cigar.
Like
and I'm
blue
done.
vapes?
I'm done. I could go on forever on this, but I'm done.
I'm actually probably going to be the only person that's going to debate you on one thing. You said that there is no redeeming qualities in the movie.
Not one.
But you're telling me that you still, because I love where they transform though. I think that's pretty badass CGI. Like the sounds and how they transform, I've always thought in the movies was pretty damn awesome. But I mean, the plot lines may be dumb, but I mean, you don't enjoy watching that shit happen?
No.
Really?
I can't wait for
Really?
I can't wait for the next Transformers movie so that I can get a brand new Linkin Park song. Oh.
My
Hey,
God.
listen, here's what I got to say about the transformations, though. 5 years, man. I've seen the transformations for 5 years. That's not going to redeem this movie. You have to
Right.
come with
All
more
right.
than transformations. You know what I mean?
All right, cool.
And they all look the same.
Yeah, they do, but I still think they're cool. I mean,
I'm gonna do another. We'll do another show, and the whole thing will be about Transformers, and I'll just tell you everything.
Just trash
I
on the whole.
Yeah.
All right.
But that's it. That's my worst movie moment.
All right. So we're going to bump into best movie moments. So I'm actually going to flip it up a little bit. Jim, let's start with you. What's your best movie moment of the summer of 2017?
Awesome. Because I've seen a few movies this summer. None of them I have been particularly impressed with, but there has been one specific thing for an upcoming movie that has had me freaking out this whole time, and that is the trailer for Ready Player One. Oh
Nice.
my God, I have never been more excited for a movie in decades. Not since Independence Day with Will Smith first came out and I was in high school. The amount of man hours that I have put on YouTube just watching to try and find all the little Easter eggs in this trailer. Kitana and Duke Nukem and friggin'
Freddy
Freddy
Krueger.
Krueger and the fucking sorry, should we just do that again?
No, just keep going.
Okay, whatever. I'm just getting too excited about it. This movie looks awesome. It is going to be just a harken back to all the things that I love, which might be a problem.
Why would it be a problem?
Because this might not be a movie about plot substance and more just about, hey, look at all these cool rights for stuff that we got that we could just throw into this movie.
Well, I will say though, it's Steven Spielberg, so that has something to say
Oh,
for
exactly.
itself. That might be
But the trailer itself has got me so hyped up for more than I ever have in a long time. And I cannot wait to see this movie. I'll probably be let down just because of the amount of hype that's surrounding this movie and that I've geared myself up for. But I'm enjoying the ride.
Well, I will comment on that and say that I have watched the trailer a ton, and I actually don't disagree with you. I agree with you, and I can also add to that I have actually been reading the book right now, and I am getting excited for this movie just from reading the book. Like the trailer is what convinced me to read the book.
Yes.
And the book is actually amping me up even more to can't wait to see this movie. So, yeah.
I agree. That's it. That's all I got to say. I read this book before. I read it again after the trailer because I wanted to refresh my memory on everything. It's unbelievable, the amount of stuff that they cram into the book. And just to talk about what you had mentioned, your worries or your concerns.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't do this movie without having all of those references. So,
of course.
So those references are part of the story, and the story is absolutely amazing. So as long as they get the story right, which it looks like they're going to, from based on what the trailer did, because there are actual like scenes in that trailer that I was just like, wow, this is like a complete visualization of what I read. And it's exactly the way that I imagined it. So, I mean, as long as they nail it, it's gonna be amazing. And yeah, normally I'd say, hey, it's supposed to be best movie moment, something that you saw in the theater, blah, blah, blah. But you brought out a trailer that I can't even argue with. That was probably one of the best movie moments.
It's going to be an Easter egg hunter's
of
wet
this summer.
dream. I have been frame by frame watching the scene from the Distracted Globe going, I'm going to find a character in there that nobody has yet
It's an Easter
in
egg
all of
hunter's wet dream.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Did you start reading the book?
I haven't yet because I'm lame.
Yeah, because that is
That's like a line right in the book.
that is that is what the book is about. Easter egg hunters.
I can't. I'm so.
Basically.
Oh my
Gunters,
god.
Yeah.
basically. They call them Gunters. Yeah.
I'm flipping lids, waiting for this movie.
Got anything, Red?
No, I still haven't watched the trailer because I'm the worst. I know we talked about it. I know. And it looks so exciting. I've seen screenshots and stuff like that. But I'm one.
I know you had a whole store to open or close
No,
or whatever. and-
whatever. I'll see something and I'll either hype myself up so much and then see the movie and be like, that was as good as I thought it was gonna be, or
So you'll sound like an Italian guy.
yeah, or I'll just see the trailer and be like, this is going to be terrible, and I'll just stay in line with, this is going to be trash. It's going to be trash. And then I get in there and I'm like, this ain't nothing. It's garbage.
Why is it always an Italian voice?
Don't know.
It's like a dude that just like I just picture this guy with a chain every time he talk. Hey, this is garbage.
Yeah.
Just moving.
Hey, Gabon.
I just love it. I love it. Oh my god. I can't believe you haven't seen the trailer yet. That's heartbreaking.
I still have to see so much. I went to the movies for the first time in like 2 months.
and
a
you
couple
saw
days ago.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
The 40th anniversary. Like,
Oh my
oh
god.
my god, I don't know. But you want to hear my worst moment?
What?
My worst moment for summer 2017.
Okay.
No, we already did that. We're doing best now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're doing
best.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even know what we're doing. I'm excited
I was
to talk
like,
about.
wait, does she have a second one?
Yeah. No. I
No,
was-
here's my real worst moment.
Yeah.
exactly.
You guys
I
have been
lied.
talking about things that are negative. I'm like, I got all day.
I saw Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah. No, I loved that though. But
Ready?
I also loved Wonder Woman. I thought that was great.
Mm-hmm.
I will admit I thought that was chintzy when they were like, ooh, love has unlocked my
Okay.
powers. I thought that the bad guy unveiling was excellent because there's no flipping way I thought it was the guy from Harry Potter. I was like, the old British guy with the mustache?
Yeah, but the
What?
He's Ares, god of war.
but I will debate you on that because there was a part in the movie where I didn't think it was him, but he's too big of an actor to not
Yeah.
be in that movie.
No.
And I was like, well, this guy's got to have
And
a
we
big. So
talked about
I was
that.
watching him and I'm like, okay, when's he going to show up again? So when he did, I was kind of like, wouldn't have necessarily thought that, but it makes sense,
Yeah, no, and I totally get that. But there was so much they did right in that. Like the 300 style fighting scenes were excellent. I loved how it was just desaturated, which DC always does in movies. But for the fight scenes, it really worked how they would just like go into it, slow it down, and really frame them in excellent like lighting. I loved that. I love the mascara, how they portrayed that with the beautiful water.
That's my favorite part.
Oh my god, so gorgeous! Like I just,
Oh, the island.
yeah.
I thought you meant the mascara.
Yeah.
I love the mascara. They really did a
Yeah,
good job.
The makeup artist was popping, was on fleek. No, but I just feel like they did so
Them
much
eyebrows,
right.
girl.
And
But can I also say I thought it was a little dumb though how like when they did the flashback to Ares, he was still old with a handlebar mustache, but he was jacked. So his body get young, but his face stayed the same age. I was like, what? But whatever. It was still decent. So
yeah, no, I mean they could have done a lot more. When you think Ares, you don't think the old British dude from Harry Potter.
Correct.
Like if he did another body form, I would have been like, yeah, I'm into it. But he was like, nope, I'm still old and British.
All right, word. Okay. Cooley, what was your best moment of 2017?
Movie wise.
Summer.
Do I have to pick one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
It's so hard. I mean, Guardians holds a very special place in my heart, but I gotta go with just Spider-Man coming home.
All right.
Right? Was that good? Did you like that? Yeah, just Spider-Man coming home to Marvel and oh man, such a really great movie that just encapsulates what the character is and I mean, I guess the best moment, if I'm gonna pick a moment, is gonna be when Peter Parker goes to pick up Liz Allen for the dance, opens the door. Guess who he saw? Oh snap! Guess who I saw?
Batman.
A fella tongue kissing my girl on the mouth.
Val Kilmer.
No, it was actually. It was Michael Keaton, and it was one of the most like chilling moments in a comic book movie that I can say I've seen. Like,
All right.
Okay.
Nice.
like
Word.
reminded me of the that movie where Michael Keaton plays the.
Batman.
No, he plays. No, he actually. Yeah, that was a good one too. I
Birdman?
guess.
Multiplicity.
No, he's a murderer, and he's like living in somebody's house, and
Yeah, it's like
he's like
it's something like I know what you're talking about. He was living in the attic.
Yeah, he basically answered a confidential ad for like, they were looking for a
I've
tenant.
never seen
Yeah,
that.
it's
in the
creepy
house.
as hell.
And he
I don't
and he
like
goes
it
in and he
already.
moves
No,
in
it's
and he's
good.
just and he's just a creep. And it just like when he opened the door, it just reminded me of that because it had that tension and that it was just super tense, and that had to be one of the best moments because I didn't expect it at all. And I'll tell you why, because I read a spoiler for it. And they the spoiler misled me. I was like, bravo, spoiler. Because the spoiler told, like, in the spoiler, it was like, he's Michelle's father. So I'm thinking the whole time he's gonna be Michelle's father. So when he goes to pick up Liz and he opens the door and he's actually her father, I was like, oh.
Sick. I haven't seen it yet.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Should have. You should have.
You do
had
know
so
this
much
podcast.
time to shut him up.
Yo, it's
That's
September.
your fault.
Yo, it's September 5th.
You
What
do
want me to
realize
say?
this podcast is about spoilers, right?
Seriously.
If
I'm
it's
not
not
gonna-
the 5th, it's the 6th.
It's the 5th. You're right.
All
I
right.
thought it was the 4th, so I'm goofed up.
I'm not going to debate you on that. I thought I was also very surprised. The one thing that did kind of annoy me is when people said that they called it ahead of time. Like Don was in the theater and was like, oh, I knew that an hour before. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what?
He did.
Like,
He turned to me and he was like, guess what?
I'm like, how do you? But it's just one of those things where I'm like, how do you know that though? Like, how do you know that that's the? I don't know. That drives me crazy.
I don't know. I'm not in his head. Ask Don.
Yeah,
Ask Donathan.
Jonathan.
Yeah, I don't know. That kind of did, but I mean, good for him for figuring it out. But for me, it was a good surprise. So I agree with you.
What was yours, man?
Yeah, dude. So mine actually is a scene from Alien Covenant that I had been waiting for since the movie had been released. So oddly enough, you had thought that I might have a really bad scene from another movie, which could have been possibly Alien Covenant because all the problems with it.
Thought so.
But my favorite scene was something that I saw in the trailer. It's when the bottom of the ship opens and all these canisters are there and you see them about to fall onto this like planet with all these creators.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's going to happen? Like, I was really excited for that. And obviously that's a huge moment because you get to see all these creators on this planet. You get to see their home planet, where they're from. I've always wanted to know a little bit more about that. So
And they got canned.
yeah. So to see that scene in its entirety and see all the canisters drop and then see them all start to freak out and then they all just get freaking annihilated, I thought was awesome.
You must have been souped.
I was, man. That was my favorite scene of any movie in the summer. Most likely because I've been seeing the trailer for so long. And, it's a trailer. They give you a piece of it and they psych you up. And I'm like, oh, how is this going to end? How is it going to end? So when I finally saw how it ended in the theater, it was a pretty awesome moment. And then I saw it with, I think I saw it. Did you come to see it?
Yes, I was there.
No, you saw that with Britt. You saw Alien Covenant with Britt.
I thought I saw that with you.
No, because I had asked you about it. But
All
I'm
right,
glad
well, I
that you
mean-
think of me like your girlfriend. That's where you
Yeah,
got
no, that's fine. I mean, we'll just delete this, right?
Yeah. So I saw it twice. I did see it.
I
saw
did
it
see
twice.
that with Brittany. Yes,
Yeah, I saw
I
it.
remember now.
I saw it. I saw it with Don, and then I saw it a second time with my mother because she is actually a huge Alien fan, which is something that her and I share. So she loved it. She loved Alien Covenant, which I thought was cool. I really enjoyed it too. Some problems with it, but that's not what this segment is about. So
all about personal opinion.
That was my favorite movie moment of the summer.
Ren, what you got for your favorite TV moment?
Oh my God! Guess what? It's
my
gonna be.
God.
Oh my God! It's gonna be Pickle Rick from Rick and Morty. Like honestly, yeah. Like honestly, it's a TV moment, and it's my favorite TV moment.
All right, word.
My friend did background colors on Rick and Morty this season, so she's
Oh, that's
like,
awesome.
Yeah, so
Oh,
she's
neat.
like, here's the uncolored version. They did a little clip they posted online, and I was like, what the F is this? Is he a
Yeah.
turd? What is he? And she's like, no, it's Pickle Rick. You'll see. And it's like a huge phenomenon with annoying people from like age 13 to age 30. They're just screaming like, Pickle Rick. But I thought it was a great episode.
Okay.
I really liked it. It's not even a fantastic moment as opposed to like what you guys got going on, but
I haven't seen that show, so I can't say anything about it. But I mean,
my
apparently
God.
that's apparently it.
This is not in the episode at all.
I was like, what?
Yep. I heard that Pickle Rick was kind of a big deal.
Oh my God.
Yeah, play on words, king over here.
Yo, Rick and Morty is like, it's brilliant. It's brilliant comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you need to catch up.
Every episode.
Season 3, dog. Watch it.
I'm gonna watch it too, and I'm also a dog.
You should watch it, dog.
Jim, all right. Favorite TV moment of this summer, 2017.
This is probably going to shock you.
Okay.
My favorite TV moment from this summer was the final episode of Glow.
Okay.
All right.
Go for it. Make fun of me all you want. When I was a kid, I thoroughly was into wrestling. I 100% watched the gorgeous ladies of wrestling. I remember my mom putting on Phil Donahue, and Phil Donahue had this whole, like the whole cast of Glow on there. And that was when I first was introduced to them. And I remember watching the primetime Glow event when it actually happened in 1981. I remember when Liberty Bell fought Zoya the Destroyer, and everything, my whole childhood came rushing back. I remember thinking to myself, man, that Liberty Bell is an attractive woman. And I was only like 5 at the time. I wasn't like, oh man, I can't wait to, Pickle Rick that girl. But I was like, oh man, I hope one day I'm old enough to be friends with Liberty Bell, like that kind of thing.
That's sweet.
And then to watch Glow, which was a great show to begin with. And Mark, if you haven't watched it, watch it. Mark Maron is excellent in this show.
Yep. I forgot he's in that.
The final episode where they do the actual primetime show of the coming out of Glow is so spot on. It brings me right back to my childhood. Absolutely loved it.
Nice.
All right.
Mic drop.
Mic drop. I love it. I love Glow. I like your pick. Good choice.
Yeah, I have not seen Glow yet, but I keep hearing like really good things about it.
I saw one episode, and as someone who does not enjoy wrestling anymore because I'm not a child,
all right. I don't like wrestling at all.
I loved that first episode.
Yeah. You don't have to like wrestling to like the show.
It was good.
Yeah. I
Well,
mean, it's a good
Becca
writing.
finished it. She loved
Well
it.
acted.
Yeah.
What you got, Tony?
All right, so I am gonna ruin something for you because I already told you I was gonna do this, and you okayed it, man. So I am a huge fan of the show The Strain. I love the show, and last week's, not this past weekend, but last week's episode was probably one of my favorite episodes of anything this summer because there is a specific character that just basically so basically what happened was Abraham Satrakian is this professor character who has been hunting this guy. His name is Thomas Eichhorst, basically the entire show.
He's a
like
Nazi.
He's a Nazi who's basically, he's living off this stuff called the white, which is making him look young, and he's a vampire, obviously, so whatever. But basically, he's been trying to kill Abraham Satrakian since the beginning of the show because he is a Jewish person who he met in the concentration camp. He's aged so much, and obviously this Nazi who's now a vampire is faster, has all these abilities, and is just waiting for the right moment to take him out. So in this episode, they meet up in this hideout where they are, and Abraham Satrakian gets bitten by this Nazi, and the tentacle comes out and basically like grabs him by the neck. But he had taken this medication previously, too much of it on purpose, knowing that he was probably this was going to happen to him. And that medication acts as a poison for this vampire, so their breed of vampire. So right after he does that, he actually starts to like, you know, he starts to bleed from the nose, like, you know, he's gonna die. And finally, like, this Satrakian guy has this moment where he gets to take down this Nazi that he met years ago in this concentration camp, and literally takes his sword out, says one of the coolest monologues that I don't remember, but you'll have to watch it to see what it was. And basically it ends with him saying, like, and I am Abraham Satrakian, and basically takes his sword and cuts his head right off. And, like, I've been waiting to see this guy go down. And just, like, it was the coolest friggin' moment, like, out of everything in the summer. Like my wife doesn't watch this show. Like, I'm by myself in my living room, and I was like, yes! I was like, awesome! You know, and I'm just, like, freaking out. You know what I mean? So that was the most badass moment of the summer. That's the turn the whole, like, because it was moving slow, and it turned everything around for me. So now I'm like, I'm so pumped for this.
That makes me want to watch.
Yeah, like, awesome. You should totally watch it.
I agree. That was an excellent ending to that episode.
Yeah. I texted you about it, and you were like, haha, like, you were like kind of making fun of me, but it was definitely awesome. So
Yeah, I'll catch up on that tomorrow.
yeah.
I got,
And I
like,
really
3
hate that,
episodes.
like, I'm ruining that for you, but
I read the books.
all right. So did that happen in the book?
Nah.
All right, word. I read the books, but it's fine. It's that would have surprised me. So, all right, cool. Word. So yeah, that was. But what about you, man?
I'm gonna kind of follow in Jim's footsteps and pick something that's a little bit out of the norm for what we talk about. There's a show called Atypical on Netflix. It's
So
a show about an autistic child. He's a teenager in high school, high functioning, and it's about him and his family. And it's like, it's not like a raunchy comedy. It's not it doesn't make fun of autism. It literally is like all the stuff that happens that's funny is funny because it's very realistic and stuff that could actually happen that you can relate to, even if you're not in a family that has to deal with autism. So it's just a really well-written family dramedy, would you call it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more comedy though.
There's
Yes,
a lot of
I
funny
can
stuff
agree
that
with you on
happens.
Yeah.
There's a lot of funny stuff that happens. But there's one thing in particular, like this kid throughout the entire show is like, just, it's about him like trying to like find a girlfriend and trying to figure out what that's all about.
Red.
Like, how do I, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, how do I find a girlfriend? How do I know if I'm in love with this girl? But everything with this kid is a list. He's making lists about everything and trying to compare pros and cons and like everything is like an analysis and not necessarily like based on feeling as is, what, autism, is basically what it does, that's what it presents to these young children as challenges. Right. So, at the end, like, you just never expect this, but like he's making up with his girlfriend basically because they got into a fight over him being insensitive about something at the worst possible moment, and so they're discussing terms of getting back together, I guess, and she's just like, oh, we got time, we can fool around, and it cuts to like another scene, and then like about 5 minutes later he comes like walking up to like his father and like a group of other kids, and he's just like, hey guys, I just got a hand job in an igloo. And it's like, and it was like the funniest thing I had ever heard, like in a moment, like, because like you just never expected it to come out of his mouth, like, ever, first of all, but just in that moment, like, you didn't expect it either. So it was like a double whammy, and it was so good. And then 5 minutes later, and I'm not going to spoil it, I'm not going to say what it is, but 5 minutes later, the cliffhanger for the season, floored me, like, and I laughed out loud.
Yeah, because of the board.
Because of the board.
Okay, all
and
right,
then
I gotta watch this.
And then your boy Michael Rappaport. Funny that she would write that, right?
So I will actually comment on this. I completely agree with this. I thought it was an excellent show. Becca and I started watching it based upon your recommendation, and it was excellent. We literally like finished the entire thing in 2 days, and every episode is like a half hour.
And it's only 8 episodes.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's easy to get through. But I thought Michael Rappaport was excellent in this. And one of the other things was the moment that I just wanted to point out was where at that same dance, he walks up to his father and gives him a hug, and he goes, "That's the first time you hugged me on your own," and he just goes, "Oh," and he walks away. like he was expecting something else, but because he's autistic, he's completely honest, and I think his honesty is what makes him funny. But
it's endearing. It's
it
very
really
endearing.
is.
Like you just like you literally like I don't know about you, Tony, but like I fell in love with this family.
Oh
Like,
yeah, it's really great.
Like
And
I wanted to be part of this family.
and I loved his sister too. I thought she was awesome. So.
yeah,
can't-
she was great.
I can't wait for season 2 when he starts driving getaway cars for Kevin Spacey.
Definitely, man. We'll find out he also has tinnitus. So
Yeah.
definitely.
Oh, he wasn't autistic this whole time?
No,
It was just tonight.
It was just tinnitus.
just a slight ringing in his ears.
So the headphones at the dance made sense.
Yeah.
So
No, watch the show. It's awesome. One of my best moments of this summer. So, if not the best.
Awesome.
all right, cool.
Now let's just take a second to hear a little bit about our sponsor. Supply and demand investing. Guys, not all investments are created equal. Did you know growth stocks devote most of their revenue in trying to expand or grow the company and offer investors little to no dividend payout?
Sounds like fucking bullshit.
Right? But value stocks split their revenue between trying to expand or grow the company and give their buyers dividend payouts.
That sounds better.
But the question is, which of these two means of investing do you think has performed better over the past 10 years? Well, to find out, go to supplyanddemandinvesting.com/Redbeard. That's us, guys. Go to supplyandemandinvesting.com/Redbeard. Supply and demand investing helps compare investments in the hopes of delivering better than average results, whether they be long-term, short-term, or just something in the middle. And remember, like any good sports team,
Like the New York Football Giants.
yeah. When it comes to investing, there are times to play offense by investing in things like the S&P 500 and times to play defense by investing in things like bonds, CDs, or cash. So I say, go Patriots!
Yeah, but if we're talking defense, it's the New York Football Giants all day.
Yeah, but it's the Pats because they won last year.
Cool. We've all heard from each other.
Did we?
We have to hear worse.
We have to hear worst. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, let's start with you. You seem very eager.
Okay.
What is your worst TV moment?
Well, I want to bring it back to I'm so upset that Theon Greyjoy is not fucking dead yet because
Okay.
he
Okay.
annoys me. We were talking about last week how that fight was just the worst.
Awful.
It was awful. But then, so we've already talked about that. So I'd like to talk about a little thing called America's Got Talent. Now, they have a thing called the Golden Buzzer. It's people who were just like, oh, so miraculous. And they push it for the most BS things. But there's been a contestant. She's had her hearing most of her life. She's developed a good tone. She might even have perfect pitch. I don't know.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
But they make such a freaking big deal about this girl who's gone deaf. And they're like, oh my God, her voice is so amazing. She's deaf. How? And I'm like, but she had her hearing. If she was deaf her whole entire life, I'd be like, you're right. That's miraculous. But they like make such a big deal about it. And I mean, I'm infuriated by 90% of the stuff they have on the show. They're like, oh my God, the foreign family who owns 19 dogs and look at the dog show. I'm like, cool. They did this in like 1940. Like this has been a thing. It's been done. This person's not going to get an entire show in Las Vegas and be interesting for like an hour. But like, oh my God, I don't know why it bothers me so much. I think it's because my housemate is so obsessed with this girl. She's like, oh no, it's a miracle. She can sing. And I'm like, but she had hearing. She could hear her own voice until like recently enough. And it just bothers me so much. It really does, for no reason. So just that people make such a big deal about this, and the whole show is trash. Like every once in a while, the kid who recently passed away on the show, he had a great voice and he was like such a good guy. I think he was even like a pastor. He dies. The deaf girl, oh my God, make a big deal of her. She's a good singer and she plays ukulele. Oh wow, another Zooey Deschanel. I'm so excited. Like it's just so infuriating to me. It really is.
Well, I'm gonna debate you a little bit on this.
Okay, let's debate it.
I definitely see your point, right? But she can't hear anything now. So to be able to actually play like the playing the instrument is one thing, but I mean but playing it and actually hearing you because I mean from what I heard about deaf people and what I know, I mean I'm obviously, but I mean like they can feel the vibration, but I mean like you can't necessarily hear like your pitch. So even if you were able to sing at one point and hear yourself, now that's like I feel like that's a pretty hard thing to still do.
That's why she plays without shoes though, so she can feel it through the floor.
But still being able to do that I think is kind of amazing. I mean, that's what Beethoven used to do. He used to put his head to the Beethoven, put his head, I don't know. You put his head to the piano
Beethoven.
to hear the vibrations of the keys.
Right.
So I feel like we give him props for that, but
he was a genius though. This girl knows like 4 chords on the ukulele.
Oh come on, still though, like
if they
I don't
whipped
know.
out Beethoven, I'd be like, yo.
So
not only is he undead, but he can orchestrate a whole symphony.
What?
I don't know. It's just like I was saying last
Are
week.
you're probably I think you're very annoyed because your housemate is so like on top of this.
Just like everyone so on, and they like all. I'm just annoyed with all of America's Got Talent. I'm annoyed with Howie Mandel's mannerisms.
Okay, I can kind of see what you mean.
He's so gross. Like I know he's a germaphobe, but he's a germ. He's gross. Like he really is. He grosses me out.
All right, I can kind of see
and
that.
all the magicians. No. You're not allowed to be on TV. You're all terrible. Just go home.
Matt Franco's in Vegas now, and he's making like a ton of money, so good for him. But whatever.
But oh my
all right, well, I don't know. I guess I kind of see your point, but I don't know. I kind of disagree. But I see it, and I don't know.
No.
Yeah. All right. Jim.
I was going to talk about how much I hate the TV show The Mist, but I felt like I was dumping on Stephen King way too much because that show that show has nothing to do with the source material and it is boring.
Yeah.
Oh my God. There was a movie and it had monsters in it and this has nothing. What I really want to talk about though is Fear the Walking Dead, which is such a poor man's Walking Dead. It's in itself, it's been underwhelming. The very end of the second season, I was a little hyped up for the coming out party of Travis, played by Cliff Curtis. His shitty son dies, and Travis is just like, I'm gonna beat the hell out of these 2 kids that were in the car with him that left him for dead.
Right.
Just beat the crap out of them. And I'm like, awesome. This is someone that I can hold on to for the next season. Couple of episodes later, he's in a helicopter and he gets shot and falls out of the plane and he's done.
What?
Just out of nowhere. They're just like, guess what? He's effed. And it happened at the beginning of the episode too. So the whole episode is just people not paying attention to it because they're like, Travis is dead? Wait, but Travis is dead though, right? So we still have to deal with this mom and her drug addict son while Travis is dead? Well, you're making this easy for me to turn off.
Oh my God.
So yeah,
Dude.
as you can see, that gets me a little riled up.
Dude, I just want to say thank you because I've hated the show since like it came out, dude. Like after the second season, I was like, I can't, like
I'm making myself watch it.
I hate the main character. I hate the main character, the kid. He annoys the shit out of me.
He was so much better when he was on drugs, and now he's
he annoyed the shit out of me. I felt like I gave a shit about none of the characters. I just did not care about any of them. And then like to hear that it's like that this happened, like that would have been if I had still been watching this and that happened, I would have been completely pissed. So, I mean, because I loved that character, especially when he beat the crap out of those kids.
That was,
I was like,
such a redeeming quality for that show.
But, dude, I haven't watched it because I just was like, you know what? I don't want this bad enough. And it sounds like it's just gotten worse. So, I don't know. Awesome. I'm kind of glad to hear that.
You're welcome.
I hated it.
Awesome. I'm glad it's garbage.
Yeah. Seriously. Sorry. Hated it.
It's not complete garbage. It has its redeeming qualities. It has its moments.
It's no The Walking Dead, though.
No, not at all.
No.
It's funny that your worst moment was Fear the Walking Dead, because one of my worst moments, or my worst moment in TV viewing this summer, was actually from Fear the Walking Dead.
Oh, sugar.
Whoa.
Okay.
Much later in the season, though. So you continued watching, so I know
I
you've
did.
seen.
Yeah,
I
no,
know
I
you've seen what
finished.
I'm talking about. They have this. So the camp that they end up in is like run by this like racist like cowboy ranch dude.
Yeah, drunk.
Yeah, like who just like is just like screw all the Indians, right? And like the Indians like live like on a reservation like few streets down or whatever, and they're just like screw the white man, and like they end up in this
that's
like
what this whole show is.
yeah, they end up like getting into this like feud or whatever, and like so Ophelia from the like first season,
Yes.
the Bobber's daughter or whatever, she is like she's like living with the Indians somehow, like they took her in as one of their own, and so long story short, there's this beef, and they end up like killing some of the Indian guys.
I remember.
They get Ophelia as a prisoner, and then they give her back to the Indians as like a peace offering. And so she shows up on their doorstep like beaten to hell, right? And they're just like, okay, well, let's take her in. And they're like, we'll put you to work in the kitchen because you're a cook. And then she like poisons their military.
Everybody.
And I'm just like, that was the worst freaking idea that you could possibly have to take your enemy in and be like, yeah, go work in the kitchen.
Yeah, not a smart move.
No. And so like all the guards and stuff like that start keeling over, and like everybody's trying to figure out what's going on. And I'm like, as soon as one keeled over, I'm like, I know what's going on.
I feel like this show, they don't want you to like anybody.
No, it's like you put this girl in the kitchen and everybody's keeling over and throwing up and dying. Obviously, she poisoned everybody.
Anthrax.
Yeah.
They were eating anthrax.
Yeah. And it took. And how long did it take
like
for it
handy?
Like a night, right?
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
they ate, and then later on that night they were like, ugh, something's not sitting well.
Like I don't know.
It's the
I don't know.
anthrax.
I'm no doctor or
You're not.
CDC expert, but I'd like to. I'm pretty sure that anthrax is pretty damn immediate, right?
It's- yeah, it's fatal.
Yeah, it like immediately though, right? Like you just like breathe it in and you're just like, right, and you just die. No.
Sure. I don't know enough about anthrax.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like I remember there was that scare, right? Like where you could like open up an envelope
Oh,
and like
yeah,
anthrax would just like
anthrax.
pop out of it, and you just be
Those
like,
were the days.
Those were the days.
gentleman opens mail, gets anthrax, right? Anthraxed. And I'm not talking about the heavy metal band.
No.
Oh, I was just gonna say that.
Scotty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, that was my worst moment.
Sounds pretty terrible.
So my worst TV moment.
Yeah, what's your worst?
I am gonna blow all your minds that I'm actually watching this, but I think it's pretty much the show in its entirety, and that is Bachelor in Paradise. Which
You have
I
a
am,
wife, I'm not surprised.
I am watching
Yeah,
that
that's a wife thing.
with Becca, and I swore to God that I was not gonna get sucked into this pile of shizzle, and. People are going to wonder why I just censored myself, but whatever. So
Shizzle.
basically last season I watched The Bachelor, Bachelorette, whatever the heck it was. And then that came on right after. And Becca's like, hey, can we watch this? And then I became invested and I wanted to know what the hell happened because that's what they do. They make you want to know what happened. So Mondays and Tuesdays, Like, she watches that, and I just, like, so as I was leaving to record tonight, I'm watching this in the background. I'm hearing it, and I watched last night's episode, and it's just like, it is the worst TV. It is the worst TV. It's like, I don't understand why people watch this. It's like, you know that all these people are set together. They all have relationships, and like, they're like, oh, I don't think anything else can happen. There's only a week left of paradise. And then they throw in some chick or some guy from like the past season that walks in. He's like, oh, I'm going to screw things up. And like, he walks around and they get a date card and they ask somebody out that's already in a relationship. And then the plot thickens. Oh, damn. It's just like ridiculous. But I mean, it's just so dumb. It's so dumb. And I said to Becca today, I said, you know what this is like? This is like the human version of a Yankee swap. That's what it is. It's like I'm going to take the present that you love and replace it with some crap. You know what I mean? And that's all it is. It's just like they're taking this person on a date. That person's heartbroken because they probably think they're making out. It's just like, oh, dude, it's just like, it's the same crap over and over again, and people get sucked into it. And
it's because it's high school drama, but with middle-aged people. So women are just like, oh my God, can you believe he even did that? And it's like,
that's
yeah, because
literally
it's TV.
what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like the same thing over and over again. And I like, people are surprised that it happens. You know, it's like, it's ridiculous. They had, and the big thing this season was like, oh, this one guy and this one girl got together and something happened in a pool and they shut down filming for 2 weeks, and they were just on like one of the talks or whatever because that guy was accused of like some sexual misconduct in the pool with her. So they actually got sent home. Both of them didn't know why the filming had been stopped. Come to find out that there was no sexual misconduct, but like this guy has been like, basically, you know, I don't know, painted as like a rapist, and she's been painted as the victim. But so he's had to spend like the last like month trying to convince people that wasn't a thing until they both were able to come on and say like nothing happened. I don't know why this was a thing, but it was done for like everybody's safety on the set. But it's like drama like that. It's like, why are we watching this? Like, this is TV now. You know, so, but I'm just like, oh man, it's pathetic how many people watch this. But
do people really find love on this show?
Well,
they can't possibly.
Oddly enough, there were two people, and I know this, from last season of Bachelor in Paradise. It was like these two people that like went on a date and did not hit it off. But then like something happened where like in one of the episodes, he got sick while he was there, went to a hospital. She went with him and saw like a different side of him, like kind of like a more vulnerable side. And she started to warm up to him.
A less TV
They're
side of him.
actually married now, and
Oh my
she's
God.
pregnant. So, and they were on like to kind of give like a recap and seem extremely happy. And I mean, like, and they're like kind of adorable together. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean, it was just like sometimes it happens, but it's more rare than anything. But
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the worst TV I've been watching.
Sometimes
this summer.
trauma brings people closer together.
It really does. Oh my God. So I don't know if anybody disagrees with that or has watched it.
No,
Probably
I
not.
watched last season of The Bachelor because I am friends with women in their mid-30s.
Yeah.
And they have a night of it. Like, wine is involved.
Yeah, that's what my wife does.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? It's free food, and I get to hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
So I did it. And, like, that dude was so gross. And you have to be,
You're
like...
talking about Nick, right?
The last one.
The one with like the curly hair.
Yeah.
He was like, I do CrossFit.
Yeah. Oh, he was gross. And
They broke up, by the way.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
No kidding.
And I know this.
Yeah.
Sweet.
He was the worst girl.
Yeah.
But you just see this guy, and after he goes on a date, you're like, oh, cool. He's totally gonna pick her because he's such a. They have to pick like the worst people, just people who are just gonna BS. It's like, I don't know how to say this without being offensive. It's like that, like, people who are very religious and will just like smile and nod and be like, yeah, everything's awesome and great. Like, they do that on every date. Like, wow, that was the best date ever. And then it's like the rose picking ceremony, and he's like, and you go home, and you're like,
Yeah.
what? You said she was beautiful and this is the best date ever. And he's like, I just really don't like how your smile doesn't go up enough on the left side. Or
You
whatever.
sound very invested in this.
No, because it's infuriating.
Yeah,
It's
it was
just-
weird.
Yeah, it's just so upsetting.
Yeah, I don't know. It was super weird. So I think the whole show though is a joke. You
Yeah.
know, and there's very few people that actually end up together, and it's that's all it is drama. You're so right. Just drama.
It's just high school drama feeding to an older audience.
Yeah.
They're like, well, how can we be less spiteful to Kathy in the office because she touched my, like, you know, lean cuisine? How can I focus on other drama? And it's like, I'm sure husbands are like, yeah, whatever, I'm gonna go enjoy my man cave and let her watch this because I'd rather talk about, like, not real people than, like, people you have to work with, and then you might want to go to work and stab Kathy. Like, I think that's
So
why that's there.
true.
It's like a deterrent.
Like, I'll watch it sometimes, but like she had like her girls' night, and I was like, I watched like 3 episodes of Ray Donovan. I was like,
Yeah.
The Strain. I'm like, all right, hung out with the cat. It was legit.
It's like a deterrent because it's slightly more interesting than hearing about your wife bitching about people at work because you're just like, oh, these are, you know, constructed people on
Yeah,
TV.
exactly.
I'll listen to this. This is someone got paid to write these real relationships.
I'm sure that the editing is spot on
Yeah,
too. So all right, man. We did talk about a couple things today, worst and best scenes of TV and movies. So, guys, we debated about a couple things. If you disagree or agree, and just comment, like, let us know what you think. Like, if you think somebody was correct on their disagreement or whatever, like, we want to hear it, guys. So make sure that you comment on redbeardpodcast.com and let us know what you think. Other than that, I think that's all I got for today. Do you want to add anything, Cooley, Jim, Ren?
Football season is upon us.
Oh, man, it is.
That is happening this week.
You must be psyched because Edelman for the Patriots is out for the season.
I don't really care.
You must be psyched. Nah.
When you're listening to this episode will be released when we're smack dab in the middle of kickoff.
Oh man, I'm
we
so
are talking
stoked, like a fire.
Starts Thursday, we release on Friday, and then Sunday is going to be the first full day of football. So we are super excited about that. Jim and I are actually going to be in a fantasy football league.
Hell yeah. The Robin Williams Memorial Fantasy Football League.
Yep.
Oh my God.
And my team is the Suicide Squad.
Yep.
Oh, gross.
Wow.
From his ashes, this league is born.
Hey, man.
So,
way to remember him.
So we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Sure.
talk about the results
American
of the draft.
Horror Story Cult comes out tonight.
That'll be something else that we talk about as well.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm supposed to watch it with my girl, but I'm still going to watch it by myself and then be like, oh, I haven't checked it out yet.
And one other thing to just be aware of is that HasCon is happening in Providence, Rhode Island this weekend. So I will be there 1, if not 2 of the days to check that out.
Oh,
And
shoot.
I'll support some stuff
I'll be
back.
there on Friday.
Word.
And it comes out on Friday as well. So,
Oh, snap.
I believe we'll be talking about that.
Yeah,
We should actually have all seen it by the time we record next, right?
we should.
3 out of the 4.
Yep.
I
you
hate
won't go.
y'all so much.
No, we're
I
talking
really
about
do.
him. He won't go see it because he can't handle jump
Yeah.
scares.
Really?
Yeah. Don't do that.
Oh,
Oh, that was perfect. I wish we had that on tape. That wasn't me, bro. You can't get mad at me.
All right.
was that really like, was that
That
bad
was
for you?
legit.
Was
That was legit.
Oh.
I can tell you that was legit.
okay.
So, oh, man. All right.
All right. For Jim's last appearance on the Redbeard Podcast, have a great night, everybody.
Peace.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Redbeard Podcast. And remember, please make sure to like us on our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and subscribe to us on YouTube and iTunes to make sure you get all of our latest videos and episodes. And you can always find us and comment on anything we've talked about or what you'd like to hear at redbeardpodcast.com.